all right.
What is up? Welcome back to another Unreal Engine course, and this time we have a really cool. Let's just see the game that we're going to create. So if I hit the play button, we have a nice ball, we have a nice glowy effect, we can move the ball left and right, we can jump with the ball. So this laser over here is going to kill us. Pay attention at the top left corner for our energy. Bam, is being drained, as you can see. We can interact with these cubes, so I can, like push it or drag it towards me like this, and I can jump from one wall to another like Spider-Man over here. And of course, we're going to learn how to do all of this. We do need to drag this other cube so that we can prevent these other lasers from killing us. And there you go. Now we can jump on the elevator, click on the E button to interact, and when we jump off the elevator, it goes down. And no, now we cannot reach the top. What we can do? Well, we can jump and interact with this cube. There you go. So we can do that as well. Bam, there you go. And we can jump over here, and voila, we reach the top. Of course, this project, you will have assignments in it. That's the beauty of it. So I will give you assignments to finish the game, and you can add new features because this serves like a template that you can use to build upon. So you can add new features, and that way you can learn, and so on and so forth. Now, even though this looks like some simple game, believe me, you're going to learn a lot of cool things because a lot of interesting things went into creating this project. So again, just go through it. You will have assignments to finish it because I will show you how you can rearrange these rocks to create other levels, to add new features, more obstacles, so on and so forth. Again, while my channel is still not dying and I'm not asking for help, just share the video, like it, subscribe, and comment below. It helps the algorithm so this channel can grow. So yeah, we're all a community over here, so be part of a community, like share it, so other people can benefit and you help me as well, so it's a win-win situation. Anyways, thank you, thank you for watching this video, and stay out of jail, I guess, man, because you cannot watch this video if you're in jail. Take care and enjoy the rest of the tutorial. So now that we saw the game that we're going to create, let us actually create the game. So over here I have the Unreal Engine project browser.
Okay, just hold on.
Other people can benefit and you help me. You know what it is, so we're going to click here on the games and then click on next over here. We want a blank project. From here, click on next. Blueprint is fine. We don't need the starter content, so you can either do it with or without, but essentially we don't need it. Everything over here can be as is. Now over here, as you already know, is where you're going to store the project, so make sure that you set that to your desired location. And over here is the name of your project, so we are going to call it Platformer. There you go. And I'm going to click on create the project, and voila, we are going to wait probably a gazillion years. And I think that I will need to cut out the video. So yeah, see you when this finishes. And finally we are here. It didn't take that.
Alright, so I'm not starting from a blank project. I already watched a few videos. I made a simple 2D platform game. I just got this template. I'll probably link it in the description. So this is the basic template that I'm starting with. I have a health bar and things like that. So alright, I'll just skip to the part where he starts explaining how to make the game actually. So okay,
That long, but I still had to cut it out because you will probably be mad and be like, oh, and I'm not gonna go further into that. Just kidding. But anyways, the next step for us is to click here on the content, right click that is, and show in Explorer. There you go. So this is where we are going to put the assets, and the assets are right here. So these are the assets you can download.
alright, so yep, I've downloaded it. Extract all. Content, right?
download them. Link will be below right here. Explorer is to click here on the content, right click that is, and show in Explorer. There you go. So this is where we are going to put the assets, and the assets are right here. So these are the assets. You can download them. Link will be below this video. So just, scroll down below the video and you will see a link where you can download the assets. And what you're going to do is copy all of these. So copy all of the assets, everything that you see in this asset folder. And over here, again, right click here on the content, show in Explorer, and it will open this bad boy for you. Right click and paste the assets.
So this is the content. Got it. Okay, let's go.
So when you paste the assets, we are good to go. Now, when we go here in the maps and click on the example map, voila, this.
Let's go to maps. Hey, where is maps? Hey, where is the map?
Is our map. Now again, these are all, you see, as you can see, the content show in Explorer, and it will open this bad boy for you. Right click and paste the assets. So when you paste the assets, we are good to go. Now when we go here in the map,
Hey.
maps and click on the example map, voila, this is our map. Now again, these are all, you see, as you can see, separate items that you can put together in order to create the level. And what I'm also going to do is here inside of the outliner, so world outliner, which is on the right, I am going to right click over here and create a folder, and this is going to be level parts, or however you're going to call them, and I'm going to select all these rocks. And I am going to put them inside of the level parts folder, just so that we can organize them a little bit, and we don't have, you know, everything clustered inside of the world outliner. Anyways, what's good about this is that you can always, you know, you can move these things around to create new levels, yada yada yada. It serves like a template and stuff like that. So, you know, for the assignments that I will give you later on to create new levels, you can do that on your own. So basically that's that. Anyways, the next step for us is to go and create our ball player. So let's go over here in the blueprints, which is currently
All right. So okay, let's first check this. What is it? What is it? Okay, we can do that. We can first make the sphere and then probably
empty. I'm going to right click and we are going to create a blueprint class, and this class is going to inherit from the character. Now, as you can see here, characters are pawns that have a mesh, blah 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 blah.
okay, got it. Got it. Where was it? Blueprints, right?
Our ball player. So let's go over here in the blueprints, which is currently empty. I'm going to right click and we are going to create a blueprint class, and this class is going to inherit from the character. Now,
Got it, brother. Got it. So what I have to do is blueprints, right? Copy here.
as you can see here, characters are pawns that have a mesh, blah 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 blah. Click on that, and this is going to be BP underscore player ball. So player underscore ball, or you can put that everything. You can put that all together. It's up.
Okay.
To you, you know, it's not important and I don't care, you know, I don't care what you do, okay? It's your life, you can do whatever you want. But anyways, just kidding. What you need to do, or what we are going to do now, is that we are going to add a mesh and all the good stuff. Now, first things first, we are going to attach or add a static, or actually, yeah, a static mesh component. So let's go over here, click on add component and filter for static mesh component. Here it is. This is the bad boy. As you can see, this is the skeletal mesh. We don't want that. We want this one, static mesh component. Now for the static mesh, click here, as you can see where it says the static mesh, click there and filter for the ball. So click ball and SM ball. Here it is. So click on that one and there you go. This is our ball. It's, you know, very funny. Now over here for the elements, we are going to search for the ball element. So click here, ball, filter for the ball, and there you go. It looks like a golf ball, you know? It looks like a golf ball. So we're going to say it's a golf ball. Anyways, what we are also going to do is we are going to scale it. So over here in the transform for the scale, click on the lock icon, and we are going to say 1.5 for the scale to rescale the ball so it gets a little bit, you know, larger. Also for our capsule component, what we are going to do over here is the half height, and the radius are going to be 75 for the half height. Radius is going to be also 75. So we are going to add a mesh and all the good stuff. Now, first things first, we are going to attach or add a button and add a new parameter. And over here, the parameter is going to over here, right click, and so we have one more variable, which is going to be our puzzle mode, and I am going to move it over here and put it right directly below the material instance. So let me just change the order, even though the order doesn't matter, but hey. So here I'm going to say puzzle mode. There you go. Click on the button over here, and we are going to set this to be a boolean, compile, and save this bad boy. And also the puzzle mode, just set it over here to be a public one. Now, this is for the variables that we are going to use. Moving forward, what we are going to do. We are going to first create our event. So I can remove this from here. We will need this later on. But over here, right click,
All right. Got it.
underscore platformer underscore game mode. So this is our platformer game mode. We only need it for one reason, and that is to go inside of the project settings and click here maps and modes, and over here at the top where it says default game mode, game mode, we only need it for one reason, and that is to go inside of the project settings. Settings and click here maps and modes, and over here at the top where it says default game mode, we're not going to set the game mode base. Instead, we're going to say the platformer game mode, the one that we have just created, which now enables us to edit the default pawn class, which is actually the player. So from the default pawn class, we're going to select the B
Okay.
player ball, which means now When we go here in our example map, let me just close the example map blueprint. Over here, as you can see, I have already prepared from this level. This is the player start, or where the player is going to be spawned when we run our game. So if I hit play now, there you go.
I think that should do it. Oh, sorry. No. Where is it? Sorry. Project settings. Mods and mods. Okay, I see.
Here, click on add component and filter for static mesh component here. Static mesh component. Now click there and filter for the ball. So click, oh, this is going to search for the ball element. So click. What we are also going to do is we are going to scale it. So we are going to say larger. Height and the radius are going to be 75 for the half. See now the component. Make sure that you compile and save that. What I am also going to do is I'm going to attach a spring arm. So click here on add component and filter for the spring arm. Now, if you don't know what is a spring arm, basically it's a holder for the camera. So you can think of a spring arm as a rotation on the z-axis. We are going to the target arm 300. We're going to set it at 1536. So 1536.
36. Okay.
136, which is going to make that a little bit further away from the ball. There you go. When it comes to the target offset for the z-axis, we are going to set that at 300. There you go. And basically, as you can see, it's right over here, like in a diagonal way with an angle. It's looking at that ball. So basically, that's that. Do collision test over here. We don't need this. So if true, do a collision test using probe channel, probe size. You know, we don't need this. We don't need this. So compile and save that. And the next step for us is selecting the spring arm and attaching the camera. So click on the camera and there you go. So now we have the camera on it. When it comes to the camera, we are basically not going to touch anything. We don't need to touch anything because we have everything set up within the spring arm. Now make sure that you compile and save that. If I were to go over here in the example map and hit on play button, and over here, just 1 second, we do have, because I prepared this project and some of the things that we do need to delete. What we need to do is go here while you're in the example map level, click on the, you see over here where it says blueprints, click on the drop down list and click here open level blueprint. When you click on that, just delete these two nodes. So just delete these two, compile and save that. This is, click on the drop down list and click here open level. Level blueprint. When you click on that, just delete these two nodes.
I started off in the right place, brother.
So just delete these two, compile and save that. This is later on for creating the UI for the game. So when we have our UI, we will have this over here or somewhere else. It's not important, but that is for the UI. If I hit the play button now, everything is cool. But you see this over here, we don't have our play button now, everything is cool. But you see this over here, we don't have our ball, we don't have anything, so
There you go, there you go, let's go. Alright.
So what we need to do is go back here in the content browser inside of the blueprints and right click and create a blueprint class. And from here, from all classes in the search, we are going to filter for game mode. And we want this one, game mode. So make sure that you select the game mode, click on select, and this is going to be BP underscore platformer underscore game mode. So this is our platformer game mode. We only need it for one reason, and that is to go inside of the project settings and click here maps and modes. And over here at the top where it says default game mode, we're not going to set the game mode base. Instead, we're going to say the platformer game mode, the one that we have just created, which now enables us to edit the default pawn class, which is actually the player. So from the default pawn class, we're going to select the BP player ball, which means now when we go here in our example map, let me just close the example map blueprint. Over here, as you can see, I have already prepared from this level. This is the player start, or where the player is going to be spawned when we run our game. So if I hit play now, there you go. we have the ball, and this is because we created the game mode base and we attached it over here, and we set the player ball to be the default pawn class, and now when we run the game, it is being spawned. Moving forward, let us go back inside of our player ball, and what we are going to do first is create the variables that we need. So the first variable is going to be our ball material instance, like this. Now I am going to just declare all of these, then I'm going to set the types and whatnot. Next we have the move direction. Next, we are going to have over here flat velocity, and what did I type over here? So it's flat velocity. There you go. Click on the plus, and again here we have the current speed. Moving forward, we have the rotation amount, so rotation amount. Moving forward, we have the ball rotation rate. Moving forward, we have the power. We have the energy, so energy, and
material instance, move direction, flight velocity, current speed. Okay, variables, right? We don't need the material instance, we don't need the move direction is already set, flat velocity, current speed, rotation amount, power, energy.
and is dead, and last but not least, we are going to have the HUD reference. So click here, compile and save, and what we are going to do, well, first things first, we are going to set the ball material instance. You can either click here, so you can either click here on this little icon, the red one, because currently all of these variables are booleans, and you can either click there where I'm currently pointing with this arrow, or you can click on here variable type, which is in the details tab on the right side, and from there you can click here on the search, and you're going to search for material, and you want a dynamic material instance. Let me just find it over here. Actually, is it dynamic or just material? Let me just see over here. So it's dynamic material. Yeah, here it is. Material instance dynamic. This is what we want. And you're going to click on this object reference. This is what we need. So material instance dynamic. Move direction is going to be a vector. So click on the button to choose a variable. Variable type, and move direction is going to be a vector. Flat velocity is also going to be a vector, so click on the button to change the type of the variable. The current speed is going to be a float, so click on the button and select float. The rotation amount, same, is going to be a float, so click on there. The ball rotation, so the default value over forward, we are here. These both is also an energy. Both of these are going to be floats. So float here, energy is also a float. Make sure that you compile and save that. And over here, the value for these both are going to be 100. So 100.
Okay.
For the energy, 100 for the power. Is that is going to be a boolean, and we're going to leave it as is. Here for the energy and power, make them publicly available, and also for our also for our puzzle mode. So we have one more variable, which is going to be our puzzle mode, and I am going to move it over here and put it right directly below the material instance. So let me just change the order, even though the order doesn't matter, but hey. So here I'm going to say right directly, going to be our puzzle mode, and I am going to move it over here and put it right directly below the material instance. So let me just change the order, even though the order doesn't matter, but hey. So here I'm going to say puzzle mode. There you go. Click on the button over here, and we are going to set this to be a boolean, compile, and save this bad boy. And also the puzzle mode, just set it over here to be a public one. Now, this is for the variables that we are going to use. Moving forward, what we are going to do. We are going to first create our event. So I can remove this from here. We will need this later on. But over here, right click, and for the node, we are going to search for a custom event. Custom event is the one that we created. It's not already defined. We are going to define it right now. So I'm going to call this bad boy enable disable input, and this is going to allow us to either enable and disable the input. Now, one thing, when you click on this over here, you can have these inputs, which are basically parameters. So I can click on over here for the plus button and add a new parameter, and over here the parameter is going to be a boolean, and the name is going to be enable. So there you go. And now we have a boolean parameter over here. So what's going to happen here is that we are going to go in a branch, and the branch is an if-else statement. And the condition that we are going to test is this enable. So enable is the condition that we're going to test. It's either true or false. If it's true, we're going to enable the input. But before that, we are going to get the player controller, because the player controller is the one who can enable and disable the input. So over here, I can say enable input like this, and right click over here, I can say disable input. Now this is going to enable and disable the input on the player controller, which means it will disable the input on our ball. There you go. So if it's true, we are going to enable the input, and I'm going to click on this and I'm going to position it like this. And if it's false, we are going to disable the input, because the parameter is enable. If enable is true, then we're going to enable the input. If it's false, we are going to disable the input. Pretty
I think I've already added this.
straightforward. Here I'm going to create a comment section. I'm going to call this bad boy enable \disable input. And if you didn't see how I created a comment section, basically what you need to do is just, hover or select with your mouse like this by dragging your left mouse. Select all the nodes that you want to group in a comment, then right click and go over here, create comment from section. And of course you can select this comment, you can delete it and it can go away. So if I select it now and hit delete, it will be deleted and go away. Over here everything is straightforward. I don't think there is no extra explanation for this, or if there is, just let me know in the comment below the video. Anyways, moving forward, we want another custom event. So let's go over here and right click, and we are going to filter for custom event, and we're going to add here a custom event, and we are going to call this one change ball material instance. So the name of this bad boy is going to be, just double click over here again. Okay, here it is, change ball material instance. There you go. Now this, actually, excuse me, it's change ball material color, not instance color. Color. So change ball material color. Now this bad boy has two parameters. Click on him and inputs click plus 2 times. The first one is going to be the param name. So here we're going to say param name, and the type over here is actually going to be the name. So name is going to be the parameter, and over here we are going to have a value float. So here we're going to say value, and there you go. So compile and save that. Again, as you can see, we have two parameters. One is the name and other is the value. What we are going to do is we are going to get the ball material instance. So we are going to get it, which is the one over here that we have. As you can see, here is the bad boy. What we are going to do now, we are going to drag from here a node, and we're going to say set scalar param value. Basically, this is are going to set the ball material instance. Click on, you can either click here, so you can either click here on this little icon, the red one, because currently all of these variables are booleans, and you can either click there where I'm currently pointing with this arrow, or you can click on here variable type, which is in the details tab on the right side, and from there you can click here on the search, and you're going to search for material, and you want a dynamic material instance. Let me just find it over here. Actually, is it dynamic or just material? Let me just see over here. So it's dynamic. Dynamic material. Yeah, here it is. Material instance dynamic. This is what we want. And you're going to click on this object reference. This is what we need. So material instance dynamic. Move direction is going to be what we need. So, and you're going to click on this object reference. To be the param name. So here we're going to say param, have a value float. So here we're going to say value, and there you go. So compile and save that. Again, as you can see, we have two parameters. One is the name and other is the value. What we are going to do is we are going to get the ball material instance. So we are going to get edit, which is the one over here that we have. As you can see, here is node, and we're going to say set scalar param value. Basically, this is going to change the value of the parameter. So over here, we're going to plug this in. So this goes over here. Next, we're going to plug in the parameter name over here, and the value will be plugged over here. And after that, we are going to get the ball mesh. So here we have the static mesh, and I need to change the name to the ball mesh. I mean, it's not important, but you know, for our references, it is better to know. So this is a ball mesh, and we are going to say over here set material. There you go, not this. So from here, set material, and we want this one. So set material, there you go. Plug this in over here. This goes over here. And last but not least, we want the material, which is the ball material instance. So here, here, get the ball material instance and plug it in. And there you go. Compile and save that. Now what I'm going to do, and again, right click and create a comment from section. There's going to be change ball material color, and make sure that you compile and save this. What is this essentially? What is this going to do? Well, basically, you see here we have the ball material. If I click on it, this is that material, and let me just open it. So over here is the material. Click on it, this is that material, and let me just open it. So over here is the material. Now I'm not going to go into this because this is a separate topic on its own, you know, dragging these materials, creating them with the nodes and whatnot. But over here we have some parameters like power, like is active, and so on and so forth, that control certain aspects of that material. As you can see, we then have the divide, then put it in the lerp and the multiply, and basically, as I said, this is a separate topic on its own. I will probably create a separate video just talking about how to create materials, how to do this and that with them. But essentially, what you need to know for this tutorial is that these parameters like power, is active, and so on and so forth, they control the colors of this material. So over here now, when we call this change ball material color, the parameter value is going to be one of these parameters, such as power, such as is active. So we're going to put that in the name over here, and the value is going to be, well, basically the value 1, 2, 3. It doesn't matter, you know, but the value of the number. Now, what we need to do in order to make this work is go over here in the begin play, and I'm going to move a little bit up over here. The first thing that we need to do is we need to get the material of the from the ball. So here from the event begin play, we're going to drag a node that we're going to call set ball material instance. Oh, actually, excuse me, first we need to create that. So let me just get the ball mesh first, get the ball mesh, and from here get the material. So get the ball mesh first, and then get the ball material from the mesh. And from the mesh, we are going to create dynamic material instance. There you go. And we're going to plug this in over here. Actually, let me just do it like this. Create dynamic material instance. There you go. And the target is going to be capsule mesh, ball mesh. Let me just take a look at this. What is this over here? So it's not giving me, the target is primitive component. Kismet library. Let me just go over here. Create dynamic material. We want the one from the, well, all of these are from Kismet. No, we want the first one. Create dynamic material instance. This is the one that we want. So you can get confused sometimes with these because, as you can see, create dynamic material instance. You see we have, you know, a couple of these functions. So we want the first one, create dynamic material instance. And we want to plug in the parent over here, and it goes right there. So the next part, and we can move this closer because I'm going to create a comment from this. The next part is to set the ball material instance. There you go. And we want to set it to this return value that we have over here. See, return.
All right, guys, I got some work, so I guess I'll just get my work done and then get back to this. Thank you if you joined. Let's have fun later. All right, bye bye.